Hey everyone, it is Evan here from the Trade Risk on Tuesday, November 26th, here with a midweek market recap video. We're going to cover all of the major markets and the current market environment. So it is Tuesday, but there is only a day and a half left of trading. We have markets closed on Thursday, half day on Friday for the Thanksgiving holiday, and that's going to bring us right into the end of November. We're going to kick off the next trading week with December, the final month of the year. So things are quickly winding down, but markets are back to the upside. We're seeing continued strength now. We got a brief pause last week where markets kind of stalled out. We pulled back a little bit off of highs, and then we came kicking off this week right back to the upside, pushing to new all-time highs. And the real standout so far this week is the Russell 2000. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. Also, for things happening here at the Trade Risk is we do have a sale going on for Thanksgiving. All of the scans on our site are half off, and the new trading system, Merlin, that we just released is also discounted and on sale right now. So go ahead and check that out if you're looking, if you've been thinking about time to get involved or to download some scans. We don't run sales too often, so take advantage of it while it's here. Now, if we look into the dashboard, you can see we did close out the day here mildly green, but the 5-day change numbers back into firmly positive territory. And again, it's that Russell 2000 outperforming here the rest of the pack. We're above all the key simple moving averages in the major indices, and we still have a lead from biotech here, followed by healthcare in the top two. But notice the number 3 here. This is a sector that we talked about in the past recap video on last Friday, but we have discretionary now pushing to the top 3 here for sectors. This has been a sleeping point of the market, starting to get an uptick there, so pay attention to that as it's really got a lot of energy built up in that sector. On the downside, we got semiconductors still taking a breather, followed by materials and utilities. And in terms of major markets, we got oil 5% to the upside, followed by TLT and the Chinese stock market. On the downside here, we have volatility, we have natural gas, and we have gold. So let's jump into the charts here. Let's take a look at where we are. You can see on this weekly picture here for the S&P 500, we are up nearly 1% so far this week. We are above the prior 2 weeks highs. And again, like we talked about there at the top of the video, we stalled out briefly last week. We kind of had a, just a pause in the market uptrend that we saw 7 consecutive up weeks here in some of the major indices. But as we pointed out here, and as we can see on a daily chart, it only lasted about 3 days before we started to push back up here and start making new highs. So the S&P 500 continuing to march into these new all-time high territories. We are stretched in the short term, the same kind of overbought conditions, the same kind of chase disclaimer and risks still apply here, but the market is in that trending phase, and it's forcing people to chase and pay up to get involved and to participate in this market. And really, it's just kind of the chase is on, continuing here for the S&P 500. Now, like we mentioned at the top of the video, the Russell 2000 here is the standout this week. We came into the week with a big breakout here for the small cap stocks. If we zoom out just a little bit, you can see this level goes all the way back to the start of 2019. In fact, it goes back even further as resistance here in the fourth quarter of 2018 when we started to get that big downdraft in the market. We had that first and second kind of rally attempt up to that 160 area. That's where we saw sellers come in. You could even take it back even further to January of 2018. That 160 area right in here had significance of resistance and overhead supply in the beginning of 2018. And now we can finally look at it where we are now and show, at least have some kind of conviction here that we're trying to finally break back above it after a long time of being contained underneath this level. You can see a lot of volume came in here on Monday, particularly for this time of year, for this week. And we also saw that nice expansion in range. And we are still, even though today looks a little pessimistic in the short term, we're still holding above that area as of now. So I think when we think about this level and the significance of it, we really want to kind of keep our eyes into maybe a slightly longer time frame and think about a weekly close. A weekly close up over 161, holding on to the majority of the gains that are currently in here, is going to be a very important stand for the bulls here to keep this momentum going, to keep this small cap kind of rally underway. And I think this is going to bode well for the broad market as a whole. We might get some other sectors that take a breather, like semis and maybe some of the other large cap stocks. But generally speaking here, if we're going to see continued rotation, if this breakout is for real, then this should help kind of keep the market bid going into the end of the year. We'll see if we can hold on to it. If we don't hold on to it, if we do see some sharp reversal or rejection here, that would be something to take note of. So in other words, if we do get a sudden uptick in volatility and a fast rejection of this range and a close back below 160, that of course would not be good. That would not be a good hold there for the bulls. We would not be so excited in the short term anymore if that takes place. So we can keep our eyes on it, but for now, I'd say the path of least resistance here for the Russell 2000 looks to be higher. Finally, if we look at the Nasdaq 100, you can see Nasdaq 100 also closing to new all-time highs. We had that brief pause last week. We came into the week with a nice expansion bar higher, closing at new highs. Follow through today. Life looks good here for the bulls, albeit a little bit extended and frothy. They are continuing to just march us higher into this holiday shortened week. Now, if we look at some other major markets here, we'll go to TLT next. You can see this is also continuing to move to the upside. So, the contrarian or perhaps the the bear here, or the someone who just wants to be a little more cautious on this market, is probably noting that we're getting a nice rally along with equity markets here, along with with year-to-date low VIX volatility readings. We're also getting TLT, which is continuing to kind of catch a bid here and work itself higher. So maybe that's some canary here that we should be paying attention to. So far, it hasn't mattered. We're seeing TLT rally along with equity markets. Perhaps one of these has to be right, so we can keep an eye on it. But for now, TLT is marching higher here, going on its third week higher in a row, at least attempting to do so. So we can keep an eye on that, but bulls keeping that trend alive. And as far as GLD, you can see again some constructive price action here on Tuesday. It had a down day for gold on Monday, which was yesterday. We came kind of roaring back here. Good outside reversal day. We'll see if bulls can get follow through there and continue to march this higher here, but trying to stabilize and trying to kind of firm up around that or under that 138 level. And if we look at silver here, we also saw a nice kind of outside reversal day as well. Volume was a little bit light, but price action wise, it is a constructive looking kind of pattern reversal here for silver. So we'll see again if we can continue to hold and perhaps lift up in the short to intermediate term. As far as energy goes, we go to USO. You can see USO here is continuing to hold up. It's trying to trade above that $12 area. It's been kind of working itself, grinding itself higher in this channel. Had this brief little incident here last week where it attempted this quick breakdown. It failed, got a sharp move to the upside, and now it's kind of pressing on, continuing that trend higher. And last but not least is natural gas, which is kind of least here because it is falling back to levels seen back in October, which were basically where the support came in here throughout the month of October, around $19. We didn't get all the way down there today, but we did have a gap down, did have an intraday reversal, but still it was a 2% down day for natural gas. Heavy volume coming in fact, one of the heaviest days we've seen for the year. So natural gas still very volatile in this range. Does look like it's trying to perhaps stabilize in this general area here, in this $19 area, but bulls just got more to prove in here. So we'll see if buyers can kind of take this intraday reversal and run with it for the rest of this week. So that's it. That's what we got for the midweek video. Reminder, if you've been thinking about any of the services or scans on the site, do take advantage of the Thanksgiving Day sale because it will be gone this weekend. So go on to the traderisk.com. You can see the banner up top or click that link there, and we'll direct you to the sale and everything that's included. Otherwise, have a great rest of the week. We'll be back tomorrow. We're going to do a short video on some trade ideas before the holiday. So we'll be back here for some trade ideas tomorrow. Otherwise, have a great day, and we'll see you back tomorrow.